Well, hey everybody, this is Antonio and welcome to Back at the Ranch. And we just got here, it's kind of late. We came to check on the deer blinds. We had a crazy storm, which we'll talk about in a minute. But before we do, let me switch sides here. Remember I talked about this? Got a truck tent that we're gonna set up. We'll do a little time lapse for you. So this is my buddy's tent. Pablo?
Howdy.
How you doing? Want to introduce yourself?
I really got nothing to say other than my name is Pablo. And, we check on the blinds and make sure the storm didn't kill them.
Yeah. So we were worried that the blinds fell over simply because we had 80-mile-per-hour winds. It was pretty bad. So Pablo's gonna set this tent up for the very first time in the dark. We'll see how that goes. We have just that one light right there in our headlamps. And we'll see how it goes, and we'll talk about this a little bit more tomorrow after the sun comes up, and we do something a little special for you guys. Alright guys, we are all set up. Look at that thing, isn't that nice? So we got a rain top up top, right? So you probably saw us on the time lapse put that on. We put it on backwards, so we flipped it around, but it took us about what, 20-25 minutes more or less to get this thing up.
Not bad for the first time.
Not bad, you know, there was two of us doing it. You know, I'd say one person can do this pretty easy. Maybe take them about 30-40 minutes for one person, because you got to walk back and forth around. But you got a buddy out there to help you. That's pretty cool, you know. So again, that's a Napier, you said Backroadz?
Yes, it's called the Backroadz. This is the Camo version. They do sell one that is not Camo. For instance, it's about $100 less.
Nice. So this one was about $280.
Yeah, anywhere about $280 to $300. I've seen them on Amazon.
And if you get the non-Camo version, you're looking at about $200, maybe less. That's nice. So this is much nicer than the one that my buddy Danny ended up taking off my hands. But let's take a look at the inside. So you got a screen that he's taking off first, a bug screen. Then you have the rain guard behind that. So if you're inside, you want to open up the rain guard and just look out, you can without getting the bugs in. Right there.
Very roomy.
I mean, the bigger your truck is, the more room you got, right?
And they come different sizes, so you can order in different sizes.
And you're gonna throw an air mattress in here in a second, and that, compared to what you had before, you want to describe what you had before?
Well, what I had before is just a cot, basically, built-in tent to a cot. You are above ground itself, but you got a lot of hogs out here, and they're not very nice.
that is true. We talked about those a bunch of times.
What I used to do is put the tent and the cot and everything right in the back of the truck.
Now the reason you don't have that anymore, though,
I still have it available. I just decided to go this route instead because it's more protective. The one that it's a single man. I'm not a small person, and of course I needed more room in order to kick people in.
So what I was getting to is the reason you're not going to use it anymore. The last time we were out here, you almost took a tumble, right?
Oh yes, oh yeah, nice and wet, cold day, and trying to get up at night, trying to go relieve myself, and I almost ate it.
Yeah, and the reason for that is the entrance to the other one is on the side. It's not made for a truck. It's actually made, you know, to be on the ground or on a platform. So this is really nice. He's gonna sleep in it for the first time tonight. We'll touch base with you guys tomorrow, let you know what he thinks, how was it to set it up, and would he buy it again if he had the chance to. All right, everybody, so we are done setting that tent up, and as you can see, Pablo's got his Glencairn. I've got my Glencairn. I said, hey, Pablo, take a whiskey glass. So we've got our whiskey glasses out at the ranch, and I do carry mine in a box. I've actually got like 10 of these. They're stashed all over the place. So Pablo, the reason we came out here, crazy storm last night down in South Texas.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that? We really haven't talked about it very much. What was the experience with the storm at your house?
It's pretty crazy, man. Like I was telling you earlier, I got 3 dogs, and you know I got 3 dogs, and I love my dogs like they're like my family. As soon as even it sprinkles, usually I'm the type of person that'll bring them in and I'll keep them in or whatever.
Yeah.
They're good dogs, you know, they're well trained, well mannered. But yesterday I told my wife, nah, this time around
They'll be all right.
They'll be okay. It's not gonna be nothing crazy. Well, into the storm itself, we lost power and started noticing outside it was horrible. That's 85 miles an hour wind easily, you know.
Yeah.
Your branches and everything flying around, and I couldn't open the door anymore for the dogs. I felt bad. They were all soaked, and
Yeah.
and it's just something like, oh my goodness, a little too late for that. I can't bring them in now, but they were there under the patio, so
I hear you.
they were safe. But yet, I still felt like.
I hear you. We have 3 dogs as well now. We have a new addition that it's fun having 3 dogs, but at the same time, it's kind of a pain in the butt. You can relate.
Oh yes. It's not easy to take care of.
So this storm, about 12 midnight, 5 till 12, all my phones start giving me an alert, saying alert, high wind, warning, everything. I'm like, oh, whatever. And I look at it, it says 85 mile per hour gusts. I'm like, okay, I better get up. And we did the same thing. You know, we started calling our dog in, Betty, who's our outside dog, and she wouldn't come in. She was sleeping. I'm like, oh, okay, well, weather doesn't look bad. Maybe it's not going to hit here.
Not that bad.
5 minutes later, that wind just kicked in. Everything started blowing. You know, oak trees, we have some young, fairly young oak trees. They're about maybe 10 years old, so they're not too tall, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 feet. And those oak trees were like usually the wind blows and, you know, they'll sway. No, they blow and they just kind of stay there, and then the wind would stop and then it'd come back. I was like, oh man, this is not good. This is not good. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. We woke up to a busted fence this morning. I plan on recording that to show everybody how I would fix our fence, but my focus was just fix the fence, because the dogs needed to go out. I could not let the dogs out, otherwise they would run. And gosh, our neighborhood was full of dogs this morning.
Yep.
We drove around the neighborhood and everybody was affected. We were fortunate in the sense that it was only our fence. You know, we lost a few shingles on the workshop and in our storage room, but the home was fine.
Yeah, same thing with on our side. Our home was well, with nothing, no issues, shingles or nothing, still intact even. Our front tree though, I don't know if I told you this or not, but a branch maybe about, I'm gonna say maybe about 12-inch thick. One of the big branches facing
that's a big,
towards
that's an ash tree, right?
Yeah, it's an ash tree towards the front of my house, and I was worried to say if it breaks, it's gonna break towards the house.
Yeah.
But it was so much wind that it broke towards itself, towards the tree.
Well,
so you can imagine how fast those gusts were going.
A lot of my neighbors are truck drivers, and they leave their trailers the back side of it, right? I lost count. They were all tipped over. They were all knocked over. You know, again, fences were gone, road signs were gone. All the stop signs were at about a 15-degree angle. Coming over to McAllen, driving from my place to McAllen towards your house, street signs. And when I say street signs, I'm talking about those big, giant signs in front of
they're gone.
They're gone. They were car lots. One of them fell over and hit multiple cars. It was insane. But that brings us to why we're here, right? It's like, hey, Pablo, it's like, I'm done cleaning up at my place. You done cleaning up at your place? Yeah. Let's go check the blinds. You know, so we're actually about, what is it, 2.5 hour drive, depending how fast you drive, north of where we live. And you've seen the blinds on previous videos. And if you haven't, you know, click on this link right here and you can go see what they look like. But gosh, I was worried about those blinds. It's like, man, if those things fell over, we need to start picking them up before, you know, they get ruined, you know, they get all muddy and everything else. But fortunately, we got here. We're actually right next to the hog scraper. And
it's okay.
It doesn't look like it was affected here. No trees are down. You know, everything looks pretty decent. It
survey a little bit. We need to survey a little bit more tomorrow in the morning, anyways.
So we got here like at 10,
something like that. Yes.
So it's pretty dark. But it did rain. There's mud all over my truck, mud all over your truck. Surprisingly, mine got more mud than yours. I don't know how that happened, but we're here, and we decided, well, if everything's good, maybe we'll get in a little hunt. So we brought some firearms with us. What'd you bring?
I bought my 308, my Sig Cross. Yeah,
Sig Cross. You want to talk about that a little bit? So I know, but hey, before you get into that, so the reason we brought them is because we want to go hog hunting, right?
That's correct. We're going to kill pigs.
We're hoping. But I've got this one that's almost done.
Okay, we need to kill that pig first.
We need to kill this pig. We got a Whistlepig 10 right here, which Pablo has never tried. As you can tell, I've tried it quite a few times. Had some yesterday, as a matter of fact. But I didn't tell you I was bringing something. I said bring a glass, and you kind of surprised me, and you brought something too.
Of course.
What'd you got? I got it over there.
I was telling him I got something, one of my little favorites here. It's a Blue Note.
And that's a Tennessee.
This is the Juke joint whiskey. This is made selected here in Texas. But once again, this is the uncut version. This is straight off the one barrel.
Oh man, what's the proof on that?
Well, proof on this one is, it shows here is supposed to be a 60.5%, which is like 121.
121, it's right there. Yeah,
121 proof.
So this, if I recall correctly, is a 100. This is what they call a 10-100. So aged 10 years, 100 proof. So it's a 50% 100 proof. And this is a small batch rye. So we got a rye. Yeah, ryes are one of my favorites. I love ryes. So for those that don't know, a rye basically means that the grain that is mainly used to make this is rye. And this is actually 100% rye. This is from the Northeast. Actually, this company's up in Vermont, I believe. They source most of their spirit, but they age it themselves. This is a bourbon, right? So your bourbons is going to be primarily corn, right? So you're going to have corn. You may have some rye in there. You may have some.
Yeah, this is multi-grain. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know exactly what grains on there. I'm not going to lie to you. The only thing I can tell you, it's ranked up there, and my favorite is one of the top 3, honestly. And I that's why I bought it. I said I need to share this with you. And
it's good. Like I say, one of my coworkers shared that with me. And the reason I thought it was from Tennessee is because we were in Tennessee at the time. I want to say we were just.
I think I think this barrel itself. I don't know if that's what it means or not. That it was just selected for Texas, or is it made here in Texas? I don't know.
Say they're crafted in Memphis.
There you go.
So it is a Memphis.
It is a Memphis, Tennessee.
It's a Texas pick,
yeah,
right?
There you go.
So I was pretty close. I just happened to be in Tennessee when I tried it. So I tell you what, I noticed that you grabbed your glasses a couple of times. You carry those every day, don't you?
I carry them every day.
I carry mine every day as well. So I've done an EDC, a pocket dump, before on one of my previous videos. You mind doing that? I guess
first off, of course, my everyday carry.
Always clear, by the way, if you're going to handle a firearm.
Yes,
always clear. Right.
And especially if you're going to be messing with.
Anytime I'm at the ranch, I do carry it. So mine is loaded, but it's safe because it's in here. But I carry a P365 6 hour. This is the XL version. This is my ranch gun.
Yeah.
Right? So I always carry this one. I love this thing. So as a matter of fact, so since we're going to jump into this, how about we put these things away real quick?
Yeah, most definitely. I agree.
All right, mine's put away. So normally I wouldn't put my firearm away when I'm at the ranch, especially at night. But we're about to drink, and alcohol and firearms don't go good together. So I highly recommend that you do not drink if you have a firearm with you. It will not end good. It never does. So, but I noticed you just pulled something out of your pocket.
Well, this is also my everyday. Just a simple.
Yeah, show that to the camera over here.
Simple little.
Oh, I've got one just like that.
Yes.
That's a CRKT.
A CRKT. That's correct.
Let's show that up to the camera. That's pretty cool. Check that out. Very nice scales. Very nice. Very nice.
That's also an everyday carry.
So I carry a knife always, as you know. Guess what I have today? That looks familiar.
There you go. Yeah.
I tell you what, I told everybody that I was going to give them a review of this. I gave a very high level. But since you made it, why don't you tell us about it?
Well, as you know, it did take me a long time making it. Made with 1095 steel. Very good steel on there. Very high carbon steel. It holds its strength, holds its sharpness very easy. So that's why I decided to go with 1095 on there. Now, thickness, a lot of people might look at it and say, well, that's a little stubby there. Well, it's intent for when we come hunting, of course.
That's why I brought it.
For cleaning the hogs and stuff like that. Believe it or not, this little blade will do wonders. Now, even the wood itself that I use on here, it comes out of his ranch here. Okay, this is actually mesquite.
So it was one of the first cleans we did here like 2 years ago, I think. We were cleaning one of the front roads because we drive in and it would scratch up the truck, and we started, just cleaning up the road, widening the road. And you cut this piece of mesquite and you said, "I like this." I said, "What do you mean?" "I'm taking this home." I was like, "Okay." Yeah, he didn't tell me why.
He didn't have a clue yet.
He didn't tell me why.
He didn't have a clue yet.
Come to find out, he was making a knife for me. So
And also these casings that I use from your 9mm. Also, I don't know if you noticed these are actually that you fired at the range.
So, here, but let me show that up close. So isn't that beautiful?
That's
nice. And I do hear a coyote over there.
Yeah.
You hear that? Yeah. So that's gonna stay here. But as a matter of fact, hold on a second. So check that sheath out.
Oh yeah, that was handmade. Also, a friend of mine. I asked him to make it for this friend of mine.
It says on it La Casita. It's got some horseshoes and flowers and a few other things.
All hand tooled.
All hand tooled, handmade. The reason it says La Casita, you've seen in some of our videos here. We have a little old shack on the property, and it's over 100 years old.
Yeah, it's got to be. I think it was like it used to be a home, maybe.
I have no idea what it was used for. It's been there since I was a kid, and it was falling apart since I was a kid. So who knows? Maybe one of these days we'll learn about it. But I tell you what. Let's jump into one of these too. So
okay. Well,
I don't know which one you want to jump into.
We're here to kill pigs, so let's kill you pig.
They're both high proof. This one's actually higher than this. Usually, I would say go with the higher one first and jump. But rye, in my opinion,
has a little spice in the back. And
spicy.
That's correct. And that's why I think the rye is a good choice.
Let's go with this one, and then we'll jump over there, and then we can compare. So, I know you're a whiskey drinker. You have a nice collection, and ryes are your favorite.
Yes.
So I tell you what, I'm gonna let you go first. Let's do it your way. What's your way of drinking your whiskey?
Once again, I also like to swirl a little bit more and see what type of tails on there, and I see some nice tails on it.
I noticed he called it tails. I call it legs. Same difference. Basically, the oil that sticks to the side and drips down, and the more oily, the more legs or tails that you're gonna get.
Believe it or not, I smell something like almost like earthy, or how can I put it, like grass?
I describe it as floral, but grass, yeah, like almost like a hay or floral. Now there's a very...
But yet, little honey on there.
I agree. You know what I get on the nose is like anise, estrella de anise.
Okay.
You ever made like estrella de anise tea? So I don't know what it's called in English. There you go. You like that?
Oh, wow.
So I get like an herbal scent on it.
Oh yeah, first fruit notes right up front. It's honey up front. No, the smoking is afterwards, and that right in the back you feel the rye coming down. All rye in the back, nothing but rye in the back, which is awesome.
So the sweetness that you described as honey, I pick it up almost like a banana nut bread is the way I pick it up. So like, you know, that glaze that the banana bread has is very sweet. That's what I pick up. Not so much the flavor of the banana, but the sweetness. That's what I would compare it to. But that rye, I compare it to like you ever had a real spicy bread?
I do see what you're talking about, like more like Mexican gingerbread, maybe. Is that
perfect example?
Like I wouldn't know.
Marranitos, as we
there
call
you go.
Them, right?
Yeah.
What a coincidence. We're on a pig theme here. So if you guys have never heard of marranitos, translate it to English, that's little pigs. So in the U.S. we know gingerbread men, right? In Mexico they make marranitos. I think that was my stomach.
Oh, it wasn't a marranito.
No, I heard that.
Yeah, I thought it was a hog over here. Like we
coincidentally, I ate carnitas on the way over here, and I'm digesting that right now. So carnitas is fried pork. So I had fried pork on the way over here. We're comparing this to marranitos, which is little pigs. That's what I love about rice. They're very complex. You get a lot of different flavors and everything. Like my mouth is watering just thinking about that next sip.
My taste buds every time I put it back there in the end. At the end, it's woohoo, woohoo.
What do you think? I mean, obviously you liked it.
I like it.
Never had it before.
Then again, like I've told you before, to me the ryes are my favorite. I've always liked ryes.
So for those wondering, what does that bottle cost? That's anywhere between $70 to $80 bottle. But $70 to $80 for their 10. They have a 12-year, 15-year. They have, actually there's one below this. It's called the Farm Stock, I believe it's called. And they'll have some special editions. And their top of the line is what they call the Boss Hog. So you've been coming out here with me now for over 2 years. And there was a time there that we were coming out here every Saturday, every weekend for over a year. A lot of what's been done here is thanks to Pablo. So Pablo, thanks a lot.
It's always great to once again to be with a friend and And, fellowship here, just, man, I got no problem, helping clean it out. To me, it's part of being the friend, That's
I much appreciate it. There's been other people that have come to help as well, but you know what? You've been a staple. Pretty much every time that I've been here in the last 2 years, you've been here as well. So, all the hard work that's been put into this property is thanks to you as well. So, again, I appreciate it. But I tell you what, you served a lot of that rye.
Yeah.
I didn't serve nearly as much as you did.
I'll catch up to you.
I know we've got that one over there. So I tell you what, everyone, we're going to enjoy this rye. And we'll be back with you in a few minutes when we decide to jump over to Blue Note. So thanks for hanging around. All right, we're back. And I'm ready for the next one. How about you?
Oh, yeah.
Again, I've had this, not the Texas one. Oh, that sounded nice. Let's see if it's what I remember, because it's been the better part of a year since I've had this. Well, I tell you what, I can already see one big difference. So this is a 10-year-old, but it's a rye, and it's made, if I recall correctly, in virgin oak barrels.
Okay.
So a virgin oak barrel, first time used.
They're not smoked.
Charred. This is going to be, I believe, in a heavily charred barrel. What's the age on this? Do you know?
No, I don't.
See. So I know a bourbon has a certain amount of time it has to age to be considered bourbon. It just eludes me right now. I want to say it's like 5 or 6 years. But whatever they age this thing in, wow, that's dark.
Nice little caramel looking.
That is.
This one I get like a blueberry.
I was about to say that this is very fruity. I couldn't place the fruit, but now that you're saying blueberry.
Or maybe it's a little too much, like a berry, not necessarily a blueberry, but
You know what it reminds me of? A mulberry tree.
Okay.
So.
What are the ones the
ones that stay in your hand?
Yes,
black.
That's what it's called.
It's mulberry.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I've gotten those before. Just squished them and smell them. That's what it's reminding me of. So it's a sweet, fruity smell. But like I can really put my nose in this one, considering that it's 121 proof.
I told you.
Usually, like I have to back off with a higher proof because
this is you can be right on it. You get way more tails on this one.
I'm getting like almost like a pie, like a berry pie scent. So berry's one thing. Berry pie would be on the sweet side. So I've never tried this one before. So let me go first on the notes.
Smooth.
It's smooth, but it's got bite. But it's like it's easy to take down.
Yes, it's not a.
But I feel it at the same time. But
it'll numb your tip of the tongue quickly.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So it numbed the tip. So almost like you take something that's like really spicy to the point where you can't taste anymore. But then all of a sudden that goes away and it's just like poof, flavor.
Yes. And that's where I taste now the blueberry. At the back end,
I'm getting sweet. Again, I keep going back to like a pie, like a very sweet sugar, but a fruity sugar. And then on the back end, it's earthy on the back end. You get the fruit, you get the spice. Once it's down, you have the oils left over. That's when the oak comes up. For me, at least.
I do taste that oak at the end, which may be what you're saying, the earthy. But like others that I've tasted, usually it'll disappear after a couple of seconds. And this one, no, it just lingers. It's just the taste there. It stays back there. It lingers back there, which is nice. It's a good taste.
It is. You definitely get the heat. Like, so I'm taking that second sip. I held it in the front a little bit on the tip of my tongue instead of the back because that's where I felt the spice. And I held it there, and you can feel that alcohol. So you can feel the 121.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. But it's not overpowering. Like
No.
I've had others that are like 100, 110 proof. It's like, whoo. This one doesn't give me that, kick in the butt, like overpowering alcohol. It's nice. It's smooth. Definitely recommend it. How much did you pay for that bottle again?
It's very inexpensive. I'm gonna say maybe $60.
$60.
Something like that.
That's not between this and this. That's a great value. That is definitely something to try. This is out of your ballpark, but you're more in the $60 range. Give Blue Note a try. That is very good. We were talking about hunting earlier, and you mentioned your Sig Cross. I said, hey, talk about that, but not yet. Let's get back to that. So you have a Sig Cross chambered in 308.
Chamber 308.
But it's not stock anymore. You did some
No,
special stuff to it. Talk
I
to me about
did a lot of modifications to it. I did like it stock, but of course, it just to me, I just wanted to make it more personal to what I do, more to what I like.
More Pablo.
And well, not only went with a proof research barrel on there, put another barrel on there, carbon fiber barrel, made it even lighter than what it is. I think it was something like 6 pounds when you first get it, but now with a carbon fiber barrel, it's even lighter. But also get more velocity out of it because it's a longer barrel. Why I went with that is because I also got an additional suppressor for it.
So it slides over.
Yes, so
right?
it goes goes over the barrel itself. Makes the actual can itself longer, yet quieter, and also quieter also. To me, it's great. You've seen my groupings on those, and I was very impressed.
But you know, before you put that barrel on there, I remember going to the range with you.
Oh yeah,
and you're like, hey, check this out. And I see this hole about the size of a nickel, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, cool, man. That's a pretty good group. How many shots was that? Like 2 or 3?
It was 10.
It was 10. You put 10 shots in the size of a nickel at 100 yards. I was like, well, holy crap. Like, that's impressive.
Yes.
It's better than that now.
Yes.
So now you're getting like dime size.
Yeah, about the size of a penny, a little bit bigger than a dime, yeah.
A little bit bigger than a dime, but still putting 10 in there.
Yeah, still.
Like, wow.
Every time I shoot it, it's where I want it. It hits where I want.
I actually mentioned your gun briefly, not specific to the gun that it was, but I was talking to the viewers and Albert when Albert was here. You know, we were walking back from the Hog Dominium over here to the camp area, and I was telling him about the time that I was setting up the pop-up tent to do some turkey hunting, and as I was doing that, I hear psh. It sounded like a 22 rifle from where I was at, and that's a good 200-300 yards maybe. You can still hear that gun quite a ways, but it didn't sound like a 308. It sounded like a 22 to me, and I was like, wow, man, it's like, was that Pablo?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember messaging you saying, did you just shoot? And he said, yeah, I got a sow.
Actually, I think that was the twofer that I remember. I was telling you, I was hoping to hit it was 2 hogs, two sows, and I waited enough for them to be back to back. I think honestly the second one was down, but I think it went across the fence to the neighbors.
So I brought my 308 as well. So I don't think I've ever mentioned it. So I'll talk about that real quick. So I use a Christian Arms, MPP, is it MPP? I'm trying to remember the acronym. Something precision pistol. I forgot what the M stands for, but it's basically a bolt action pistol. Also uses a suppressor on it. Very accurate. Haven't found the right recipe to do what he's doing with his. We'll get there eventually. But right now I'm shooting about a 2-inch group at 100 yards, you know, and that's with just off the shelf ammo, you know. So I tried, let's say like 6 or 7 different ammos. That's the one that gave me the best group. So I'm getting like 2 to 3 inches tops. Probably do a little bit better than that once I get, you know, the right ammo for it. So looking forward to finding that. So that's what we've got. Like I say, you know, we've got the second drink here. We might go for a third before we head up into our tents.
No.
But we'll see you guys in the morning. So thanks everybody for sticking around. All right, we are all set up. Got the guns loaded. Got the thermal running. Just looked on the Sendero with the thermal. Absolutely nothing. We still hear that rooster crowing. And we're starting to hear an owl that's flying around looking for stuff to eat and just screeching. So it sounds pretty cool. But we're gonna sit here for about an hour. That feeder goes off at what time? 6:15.
But he's 6:15.
Yeah. So, but we dumped out some corn last night. Some what we call slop. So we mixed a little bit of corn with beer and wasn't honey, what was that? Syrup.
Molasses.
Corn syrup and a few other things. So hopefully that'll attract some hogs in for us. Hey everybody, it is now 9:45. It's about 45 minutes ago, Pablo and I decided, you know what, these hogs probably aren't coming out this morning. All the corn's still there. Deer moved on, we're not sure why. So we decided, you know what, let's go back to the tents and take a nap. So we didn't get much sleep last night. We had a little more whiskey after that video ended. So we stayed up a bit. Didn't get much sleep. But I'll tell you, last night, man, that was nice. It was about 50 degrees. Very nice. I had a new sleeping bag that I bought on clearance. I'll show you guys that sleeping bag if you want to check it out later. Just leave a comment in the comment section if you want to see it, and I will review it for you. My next adventure is going to be to build a small cabin out here. Just a little one-room cabin, big enough to sleep one person. Maybe I'll do two, we can put two twins on each side of the room. But I want to do a little cabin with a small kitchen. I'll put some AC, a little covered porch, so that when I come out here, I've got a place to stay. And I don't have to set the tent up every time I come out. So that's the goal. So that'll be my next adventure coming up very, very soon. I'm sorry, I'm looking out this way. I'll switch cameras for you. I just saw a couple rabbit move around, and I'm getting hungry, so rabbit sounds good right about now. After that storm yesterday, we thought about the blinds. It's like, man, I wonder if the blinds are still up. Better time than any was today to come check them and try to re-erect them if possible. As you can see, I'm sitting at one. So blinds were not affected. At least this one wasn't affected. We have not checked the other one yet. And gave Pablo an opportunity to test out his new tent as well. And I think he likes it because he's still sleeping in there. So I'll ask him about that later today as soon as he wakes up. So take a look out here again. I like the fact that it's nice and still. There's no wind, as you can see. The benefit of that is if there's no wind, my scent, human scent, is not being carried. So those hogs are around here. They could potentially still show up. I've seen them show up as late as 12 in the afternoon, especially on cool days. It is cool today, but it's not overcast. As you can see, the sky is nice and blue. Not a single cloud in the sky, and as a result, it's getting pretty warm pretty fast. It's only supposed to be about 85 today, but I think it's going to hit the 90s again. Typical South Texas. So I'm going to sit here for a while longer, see if a hog or something comes up to the feeder. So good morning again, Pablo. What time is it? 10:30, so not too bad. So we went up to the blind, did our little hunt, or little sit, I should call it, because nothing really came out other than those 4 deer, and we got tired. Decided to come take a nap.
Come back and take a nap, yeah.
I didn't extend the vents and everything on mine, which I kind of regret because I took a 20-minute nap and it got hot, and I was like, oh, I'm going back to the blind. And I sat there for a good 30 minutes or so. But you stayed sleeping in yours.
Wow.
So tell me, what do you think? First time sleeping in your tent?
Way more comfortable than the other one, I'll tell you that much. More room. Lots more room, of course. And it seems like the vents work great on the movement of the air.
Yeah.
There's plenty of movement in there so it doesn't get too hot.
And there's not much of a breeze, so that says a lot, right? So I know you had just this screen and you opened one of the side vents.
That's it.
You had a nice little breeze going through.
That's correct.
Very nice. And I like the fact that you have enough space in the front. You know, you got your boots and you had put some clothes there. You have like a little landing area,
yeah,
which I don't have in mine. Mine, I have to crawl up and push things to the side. So that's pretty cool that you've got that as well. If you could do it all over again, would you buy that same one?
Most definitely. I do like it. The only thing that I don't think it's that I still I can toss up and say, you know what, it's not worth the extra $100, the camouflage itself by itself. But you know what? I like the way the camo looks.
It looks nice. It looks nice. I like that. So an extra $100 for the look. I think it looks great. But those of you watching want to know, if you don't want to spend the extra $100, you're just going to go camping, not hunting.
Yeah, there's regular Backroadz.
Sounds like it's a great tent to get. So appreciate you sharing that, and we'll see you next time when we're back at the ranch.